Pat, thanks so much for joining me, or I should say thanks for having us out here at your office, which on a race weekend is, at least for the layman like me, looks like complete, utter chaos.
That's pretty much what it is.
How crazy is it on a race weekend?
It gets pretty crazy. I mean, we become the 6th largest city in the state of Kansas on a race weekend. You get all of the good, bad, and ugly that you get with a 10,000 person city crammed into 3 days, and, you know, a lot of people enjoying themselves.
As you can see, everyone in racing loves to wear black. It's a very common theme. You'll see it in the garage and up here. Inside each one of these haulers is basically their portable office. And so they've got all the parts and everything they need for each of their cars. And then up above, there's actually a second car. In case this car, their primary car gets wrecked, they've got a second car they can bring out immediately.
There's so much out here. There's so much going on. So how do you put it all together?
I guess the biggest thing I would say we worry about is safety, because fans don't appreciate what a 3,500-pound stock car going 200 miles an hour does to a human body, or those kind of things, because they see an accident that occurs during a race on TV or in person, and the accident occurs, the ambulance pulls up, the driver unstraps and gets out. And so you think, oh, well, that's sort of normal. But they don't think about the millions of dollars in research and development and technology and things that have happened, honestly, mostly since Dale Earnhardt died, that have made this sport so much safer.
I wonder how many hours a day some of these crew guys work.
On a race weekend, they're working 12, 15 hours a day. And even not on a race weekend, that's not an atypical schedule for them, because it's just like any professional sport. They're doing everything they can to get every possible edge and compete.
It's almost, I would think, like opening day, 75 teams, as you say, and oh, by the way, with a Super Bowl type of feel to it.
We embrace that notion of a Super Bowl kind of feel. We talked on the way up here about the television compound and the size of it being bigger than the Super Bowl. I think just the physical space that these racetracks take up, if nothing else, gives you that feel. And then the festival that you get with the camping and the fact that we're an all-day event and everything that happens from flyovers to post-race fireworks and everything, we're trying to make the event a big deal. And we want our fans to feel like it is.
And what's interesting too, like I'm watching, fans that have access to down here, they're right up and close and personal with it.
Right. I mean, yeah,
they're
there's
taking pictures.
Yeah, exactly. And the dangerous thing about it is when this garage is active, when it's hot, these cars are coming in at 50 miles an hour, and people don't realize that for the driver's going slow, but for us, it's like standing next to an interstate.
When we do driver autograph sessions, we give out tickets typically, or wristbands or something, so they know the end of the line is here. That's the hardest thing, I think, for the drivers. And, if you think, how many people are on the Royals roster?
25.
Okay, 25. We have 40 drivers for the national series in our sport. So you can imagine how thinly they get stretched trying to do those things. The Royals have 25, and every team has 25, and the 25 are in Kansas City. These 40 guys are, for the most part, based in Charlotte.
And they're in Kansas City 81 dates a year.
Right.
That's the other thing that fans need to understand is that while they're here to enjoy an event, and that's what we want, everybody in this garage who's wearing a uniform, most of them in black again, they're all working. This is their job, and they want to compete tomorrow night, and they want to have the best possible race they can.
We look at us with the Royals, you really build so many long-term relationships with that fan base, with your employees. It's really a family feel to it. And I'm guessing that's probably the case here too. Again, much bigger scale, only 2 events. I mean, even the Chiefs, they've got 8 home games, add in a couple of preseason games, and that's kind of a year-round thing, and the NFL has just sort of become that. But are you able to build that familiarity, that feel to make it home?
For the fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you asked people who are our season ticket customers who come to both race weekends or buy tickets for both race weekends, they certainly consider this to be a home track. I think the biggest difference between racing the Royals and the Chiefs is that there's no home team. We're a facility, we're not the team. And so they love the track and they love coming here, but they're coming here because they love one of the drivers that's competing on the track. And so that's a difference. And it's frankly one of the differences that's creating some challenges for our sport right now, because Dale Earnhardt Jr. retired, Jeff Gordon retired, Tony Stewart retired, Carl Edwards decided to retire. You know, unless those fans pick up someone new, they've sort of lost their connection to the sport. And unlike the Royals or the Chiefs, where the team is always there and the components, the players may change, their team is the driver.
So post-race, the car pulls in here, and they come in for victory lane.
Yeah, you have to think so much when they get up there, if they're lucky enough to get up there, the amount of work that went in to make this happen.
Right. Well, that's why when you hear the in-car audio and you hear these guys screaming in the car, it's I mean, not to diminish other sports victories, but there are only 36 points paying races. And so every win is sort of like a playoff win in that respect.
Why should someone come to a live event instead of staying home and watching on TV? Because the TV product for all of us, Royals, Chiefs, NFL, Major League, NASCAR, is so good. It's so good at home. And even though there's a cost to your cable system or whatever it is, there's really no incremental cost to somebody watching a game or watching a race. So why fight traffic? Why come out? Why deal with those things? And we've got to answer those questions and give somebody a reason to come out and enjoy the day here instead of doing something else.
That I really agree with, and I think that's probably true in all sports, but I always like to use the example of hockey. Really, one of the better places to sit and watch a hockey game is somewhere a little bit higher up where you have the perspective. But if you're trying to sell someone on the sport, the best place to go the first time is right down on the glass where you can feel it and touch it. And I think that's probably what you're getting here.
Yeah, I don't think you have to sit right next to the track.
Well, no, probably not. Probably anywhere within the vicinity, right?
But yeah, that in-person experience is so different.
Some tracks, the track president's the one giving the trophy. That's not what we do here. The sponsor gives the trophy. If we didn't have a sponsor for a race, I'd have a fan give the trophy. Because it's not, that's what we're about as a sport, is about doing things for fans. And so I enjoy bringing someone down here more than I enjoy being down here, if that makes sense.
Having fans listen on a scanner or a fan vision and having that basically narration either from a radio broadcast or, we're the only sport in the world where you can listen to the crew chief, who's the head coach, talk to the driver, the athlete, and the spotter, in this case, who's like an offensive coordinator in football, live during the event. Fans can sit out in our stands and listen to that during the race. And I mean, it's unfiltered. You get everything. You listen to Kurt Busch's scanner broadcast, don't do it with your kids. And I love Kurt. I'm happy, happy he's here. But those are the kinds of experiences that you can only get at the racetrack.
So appreciate the tour, the insight, and excited to see the next race in October.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll be out here. I'd love to say the Royals will be playing. I hope that's the case. I hope you can't be here because the Royals are in the playoffs. But on the off chance that they're not, hopefully you'll be here.
Then I'll be here.
All right.
Thanks, Pat.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.